Good Omens 3. I love it, and I hate it. Before I begin, I would just like to let everyone know that I'm hosting a multi-animator project that I'm calling Good Omens Epilogue. It takes place after the finale, and it is still, obviously, in production. If I wanted to make this video perfect, I'd rewatch all of Good Omens, reread the book, and meticulously analyze the finale. But I don't want to torture myself too much, and I want to get this video out. Maybe I'll go more in depth in the future, maybe after the pain has eased, but I need to get my thoughts out in the world or they'll be stuck forever. I have so many conflicting feelings about the ending of Good Omens, and I think it's okay to be in between. People who love and hate the ending, and every possible feeling about the ending, is valid. My opinion towards the ending probably skews more towards negative, so just be aware. Good Omens is a funny yet profound show with meaningful commentary on how being religious, specifically Christian, or even just living in a religious world shapes and affects you, and what happens when you steer off the straight and narrow path. It explores what it's like to question your belief system and think critically about what you've been taught for your entire life. It details the trauma and the heartache of realizing that everything you know is a lie, and that you've been hurting people along the way. Good Omens is about an angel and a demon, Crowley and Aziraphale, who are close friends despite being on opposite sides. And obviously they fall in love. Aww. In season 1, with pretty much the same plot as the book, we follow Aziraphale as his faith in heaven and God's plan begin to disintegrate under scrutiny. In season 2, Aziraphale is conflicted between trying to change heaven and accepting that it can't be fixed. At the end of the season, he abandons Crowley to become a archangel or super angel or something, because he still thinks the system can change, that it's not flawed to its core. I've seen people believe this way when it comes to my old church, but you can't fix something that isn't broken. It's a feature, not a bug. So, season 3 happens. It's not really a season, but that's what everyone calls it. I expected it to be a dumpster fire, but up until near the end, I was relatively okay with what I was seeing. I had pretty low expectations. I knew that there was going to be limitations, and I was going to be happy with whatever the writers came up with. Almost anything. So here's some good shit. A few things I liked. The lines about how Crowley and Aziraphale missed each other and what Crowley sacrificed for Aziraphale, his Bentley.
Again.
I absolutely adore the fact that God has been letting them have a slow burn, messy, cute, sweet gay romance just because she liked seeing it and because it made her smile. Though she was still rude as hell. Like, how is God serving cunt, but also a cunt at the same time? Make up your mind. The line, "Why give me Crowley? Why make me complete? And then take it away." Goodness. Absolute cinema. I loved their questions for God. She hardly answered them, as expected. It's like when you pray so much. You read the Bible, you go to church, you read the scriptures. You're told that God is supposed to meet you halfway, but they just don't. And I feel like the show addresses that well. The religious commentary aspect was great, per usual. During their conversation in the garden, we all thought that Crowley would say what he wanted most was Aziraphale. But hear me out. I kinda like the fact that he said what he did say. Crowley said that what he wants more than anything is for humans to have true free will, for heaven and hell to not exist, for people to choose who they are and who they want to be. I keep seeing people claim that Crowley never cared about humanity until now, but throughout the seasons, we saw him save the world multiple times. He saved Job's children. He stopped a girl from killing herself. He grieved over the people that would die in the Great Flood. He helped Jesus explore the world, and he just did so many nice things that demons aren't supposed to do. We know damn well that Crowley wants Aziraphale. He wants to be with Aziraphale more than anything. But maybe that's what makes him the best angel. I loved this scene. I loved how Aziraphale credited him. When you're in the church, you're not supposed to question what you've been taught. You're supposed to go along with it. Crowley represents people who've had a faith crisis and people who've left their entire life, even though they've been shunned, even though they've lost their community. Crowley has always been a good, nice person. The best angel. He gave up, quote-unquote, us, him and Aziraphale, for the world. They're so in love it hurts. And Crowley's such a good ex-angel, ex-demon, a good person that he gave his life for the world. They just want to kiss in the scene, bro. Despite the themes being messy and confusing, I think it's brilliant to show Crowley and Aziraphale's truest desires here. It's flipped. Crowley wants what's allegedly, according to this dumbass episode, best for people, for free will, for the world. And Aziraphale says, I only want one thing, but that's not what it's about anymore. Meaning, he wants Crowley. The subversion of their characters is so telling about who they are. We've been able to see who they are beneath their masks from the beginning, but this is them removing their masks. This is Aziraphale saying, yes, I do want to be with Crowley. And this is Crowley saying, yes, unfortunately, I do care about people, and I am a nice, good person. Here's some good shit about the ending. I've seen people explain that the ending implies that they meet each other in every universe, that they're destined to find each other. Their meet cute in the bookshop is adorable. They're so fluffy and flustered. Aza was very smooth with the way he got Anthony's number. I love that they got their cottage and that they got to live together, get married, have a life. I love that Crowley is an astrophysicist. And of course, Aziraphale still remains a book nerd. Also, Jesus is my baby girl. Is he single? If you want to leave this video feeling great about the finale, I'll just tell you this one final thing, and then you can leave. Because after this, I will be getting into the negatives, and there are a lot. And I want people to enjoy the season if that's what they want. An online creator I deeply respect and admire, she explains the ending as it is. Aziraphale and Crowley have always loved the Earth. They've loved humanity. They love each other. She explains that them basically becoming humans in the end was always a possibility. They got to be married, to hear the nightingale sing, while being happy and with each other. Her video and explanation helped clear my mind a little from how devastated I was, and try to look at the episode a little more objectively. She and everyone who enjoyed the ending because of this are right. It's sweet and beautiful that they found each other again and are going to be happy.
I try not to kill myself.
This can be true, and I think it's also true that much of the fandom can feel disappointed and saddened because it's not truly them. We watched thousands and thousands of years of them falling in love and didn't get the satisfying payoff we wanted with those specific characters. Yes, they have similar mannerisms. Yes, they have similar names. Yes, it's possible that they were reincarnated or it's a soulmate situation, but it's not just about that. It's about their experiences. It's about the historic flashbacks we saw. I'm editing the video right now, but I literally just saw a post on Tumblr saying that Human, Crowley, and Aziraphale, Aza and Anthony, they are still Crowley and Aziraphale. They're just them without the trauma of heaven. They're just them without the hierarchy oppressing them. And I'm like, okay, no. Because A, my opinion is memories are a huge part of who you are. B, I literally have PTSD and anxiety and trauma, and I would be a different person without it. I'm not necessarily saying that I want to be traumatized, but I would be a different person. And I'm still worthy of love and having a happy life, even though I'm traumatized. Everyone is. Literally everyone has trauma. Everyone... Oh my gosh. And like I said, Crowley, he's not Demon Crowley. I guess he's Crowley if he'd stayed an angel, but that's the thing. Crowley still deserved to be happy as a demon. He deserved to be happy as an angsty man who wears leather jackets and has flowy long hair and sunglasses and who makes snarky comments. He deserves to be happy as a demon. He doesn't have to conform to being an angel. Oh my... I don't think these two opinions are inherently opposing, though. I'm going to start getting more specific about my issues now. So, final warning, criticism.
I try not to kill myself.
The biggest issue is that they didn't kiss. I mean, that wasn't the biggest issue. One of the biggest issues, though, is that they replaced the universe. They didn't have to do that. Literally everyone died. Past, present, and future. Aziraphale and Crowley died. God gave them the choice of what happens. She was implying that they had to choose between themselves and all of humanity, but they could have gone about it in a better way. They could have wished for the universe back to how it was, but without heaven and hell being able to interfere or exist. To make the sacrifice still impactful, they could have believed that they would have been wiped away too. If they wanted to go with the human angle, they could have been like, oh yeah, you guys are humans now, back on Earth, but with your memories. There's a very accurate comparison between Job from season 2 in the Bible and the universe. Job and his wife didn't want new kids after God killed them. That's not a reward or a blessing. Crowley and Aziraphale know this. It was the entire point of an episode. Now they're going ahead and doing basically the same exact thing, except on a way bigger scale. They're still basically choosing to kill an entire universe full of people. Same with in season 1, when Adam promised his friends he'd give them new parents, and they obviously refused. This was unnecessary and a little bit out of character in my opinion. I like the concept, though, of removing heaven and hell from the equation. I like the concept, the idea, the belief that we don't need to believe in a higher power for life to have meaning. We don't need anything dictating us. We deserve actual free will. The show just executed the idea in a terrible way. Me when I'm in a thematic inconsistency contest and my opponent is Good Omens 3. The reason it was executed in a terrible way is because the whole point of season 1 is that humans had already been exercising free will, because heaven and hell weren't really making a difference. It's like the show itself has cognitive dissonance, and it's frustrating. Crowley literally says, oh, we're all pawns in your game, characters in your book, and then immediately says that they, God and Satan, have been playing solitaire instead of chess this whole time. Make up your mind. Does this world have free will or not? The entire point of season 1 is that heaven and hell have just been canceling each other's efforts out. Skydom on Tumblr and Instagram said to me, it also gives an eerily depressing message, and it especially is highly sensitive to the popular audience that watched it all up until then. Everything is flawed, might as well give up. Not a great conclusion. Especially because in season 1, them explain, you're gonna burn all this away? Why? Because some adults muck things up? That's a reason to fix it, not destroy it. The point is that we shouldn't give up just because everything is broken. A line that fits much better with the previously established themes of the show is when Crowley asked, why did you think it was at all a good idea, even a sensible idea, to create an infinite universe, run it for 6,000 years, and then just flip the board over? And then God says, a story doesn't have to go beyond the last page of its book, Crowley. Crowley says, I do not accept that. And then a few minutes later, he quite literally accepts it and chooses to end the universe. One thing that I'm not sure how to feel about. God agreed and said that she'd make a godless universe, but all evidence points to the fact that she already knew this would all happen, that this would all be the plan. She said, it starts and ends in a garden. The nightingales will sing. That is how the final scene of the show goes about, even though in that universe, allegedly, she is not supposed to exist. How did she know that this story would end in a garden? Also, she said that Crowley and Aziraphale wouldn't be on Earth, but they clearly have doppelgangers that are, so I don't know, maybe she was just lying. Other than that, my biggest issue is that they didn't kiss. I mean, that the season was short and rushed. I don't blame anyone on the crew, other than Neil Gaiman. Fuck him. And I went into this movie knowing it would be flawed. Aziraphale doesn't have time to ponder on his mistakes. He doesn't need to do much to earn Crowley's forgiveness. The best way to go about it would have been to keep them separate for a little while longer in the show's runtime, and then have them be forced to work together again. We needed to see Crowley struggle to forgive and to trust Aziraphale again, and we needed to watch Aziraphale gradually realize that he can't change heaven. He needed to take time and process that the system isn't broken, it's just designed to be this way. Destructive, dishonest, and unfair. Instead, they make up and get back to being partners without doing the work to make it satisfying. Like I said, I absolutely don't blame any of the crew or the writers for this. They did what they could with the resources they had. Also, don't harass people. What is wrong with you? A few small issues. Why didn't they just take the book away from Michael? Them and Aziraphale both had miracle powers. It's not like Michael had much of an upper hand over Aziraphale. They could have just taken the book away from them. And then what was Aziraphale going on about? I'll forgive you. I don't get it. Also, the episode was pretty boring a lot of the time, but that's the least of my worries. The ending. Oh boy. The ending is controversial. Obviously. On one hand, it's absolutely adorable, like I said, and endearing and sweet. But on the other, bigger, sweatier, hairier hand, it's not them! Like I said, why couldn't they have at the very least gotten their memories back? I wrote sigh in the script, so I'm sighing. I already explained the positives of the ending, but here is a negative perspective. A Tumblr user let me quote them anonymously because I couldn't explain this myself without wanting to cry. Please go away with bittersweet. A. We didn't sign up for a bittersweet ending when starting this journey with the lighthearted season 1. Yes, deep, thoughtful, but lighthearted. Acting like we are stupid for not expecting anything but a happy ending for these characters, not Timu, Aziraphale, and Crowley, is very dishonest. B. Bittersweet should have some sweetness for established characters, no? Bittersweet would have been Crowley and Aziraphale having to sacrifice themselves or their memory of each other for their universe, not a new one full of characters neither they nor we even know. Or failing to save humanity, but managing to save each other, and now being together in the bookshop forever with the empty books, filling them with stories of the humans to keep their memory alive. But they failed at saving their humans and died. Everything they did in season 1 and 2 was for naught, and according to the conversation with God, they never had a chance. This message is not bittersweet, it's nihilistic. I agree with this person. My personal opinion is that I would have preferred a different ending. Like, why didn't they just write in the books of the library that everything is back to normal? Why didn't they ask God to bring back the universe but without angels, demons, or heaven? Every single character and storyline we saw is dead. The Aziraphale and Crowley at the end were different people, just like they wouldn't be the same of Job's children. Crowley is back to being more like his angel self, and their angel and demon dynamic isn't as prevalent, even though that's half the charm of their relationship. It's a happy ending, but I don't blame anyone for not being satisfied with it. Also, the whole point was supposed to be that humans already low-key had free will, like I said earlier. The good versus evil between heaven versus hell wasn't doing anything. So now, the ending is even more confusing. Also, now the historical flashbacks aren't as meaningful because it didn't happen. Now for another one of my biggest and low-key controversial opinions. Other than their hand kiss, of course, which was adorable and sweet, but not enough. I'm serious about this, hear me out. I know that people don't have to kiss in a romance to be valid or for the story to be good, but in this scenario it feels weird and disappointing without. I already knew that they were romantic long before they'd kissed. I was satisfied with their relationship. The problem though is that they spent season 2 and the marketing for it hyping up the romance aspect of the show. In season 2, the romantic tension is even more obvious than in season 1. The audience is told for them to wait to address their feelings, to talk about them, to do something about them. Side characters talk about it. Crowley yearns so freaking hard, and we do get a kiss. It's not very sweet or romantic. It's sad and desperate and one-sided. To wrap up their romance in a satisfying way, in my completely correct opinion, because I'm always right, give them a kiss in which both of them are happy, and which is sweet, and not sad and ouch. Adding a kiss would have been easy. It's about the payoff. Once again, do not harass anyone. Like the creators, what are you doing? They had so many good opportunities for them to kiss. I would list them out, but you have functional eyes, and I don't want to torture myself too much, unless you don't have functional eyes. Sorry, I guess I'll never know how gay they are. The point is, yes, kissing isn't necessary for romantic love, obviously. It's definitely not necessary for these two characters in general. It's just that in the big 2026, for some people after waiting 35 years to see these two kiss on screen, I'm not that old, someone chickened out and decided, oh yeah, gay people kissing isn't in these days. Let's show them wedding rings and a hand kiss. Girl, what in the 2020 is that? The point is that it's about the payoff, like I said. We're supposed to reap the benefits of waiting and watching their love and characters grow. We got a kiss in season 2, but we deserved one that was mutual and that closed off their arc. A tidy finish, like Aziraphale said. One fabulous kiss and we're good, Crowley said in season 2. This is all called foreshadowing and build-up, literally implying that to round off their romance arc, they should have kissed. They edged us for years and edged them for literally thousands of years, and they didn't even let us come. The hardest thing for me to come to terms with is the fact that it was good and amazing and meaningful to me, yet it also was horrible. It broke me in a bad way. It feels like the finale sours the original series and the book because of its issues and its conflicting messages. I don't know how I will feel about the finale in the future after the dust has settled and I've calmed down, or rewatched the whole show, so things might change, but how can an ending seem so perfect yet so flawed at the same time? Seeing the ways in which it ends well is valid, and noticing how it could have been so much better is also valid. I spent years fully believing in the story and trusting that it would adequately tie things up, unlike so many other queer shows, and other queer shows that end in death, in tragedy, and I guess we just can't exist. Our disappointment and frustration is valid. As painful as this experience is for me, literally for me, genuine physical pain, I have to be glad that this show and book exists and that it got an ending. It has a lot of queer representation, and even though it ended controversially, it is soothing to see Crowley and Aziraphale fall in love. Seeing the last few scenes for what they still are is still wonderful and beautiful. It's not everything, but it's also most definitely not nothing. With that, I love you, Good Omens. It's been an amazing adventure. To everyone who has been humoring for who knows how many minutes in this freaking video, thanks for watching. Your reward for making it this far is that I'm going to remind you that I am working on a project, Good Omens Epilogue. It will hopefully satisfy everyone with the ending. It will keep these shows' ending intact, remain canon compliant, and include some of the things we missed out on. It will be animated by multiple people. It'll use multiple people's artwork. People might get the opportunity to sing. We haven't figured all the details out yet. More information on my Tumblr, Lynn Toaster. Also, there's so many freaking parallels between Lokius and Ineffable Husbands. It's freaking me out. Why can't gay people stop turning into dust? Okay, goodbye. I'm out.